The magic wheel die has 6 pieces. Each piece has purpose. We're going to go ahead and talk about the different pieces. This largest one just has a slit in it, and it's specifically for a circle slider. The medium piece has a slit that goes all the way to the edge, and that is going to be the magic wheel. And this third piece will be used with the medium piece. All it does is put a slit where you want it. So you can use it for a card front, or you can also use it for something like this pocket. The next 3 pieces are crucial to having it work. The smallest circle with a slit is actually just to reinforce your medium size one, or the red one that you see here in the picture. That piece is going to be used for the spinner, and the smallest piece is going to keep the reveal wheel from popping out of the slit. You're going to go ahead and assemble it by taking the smallest little circle, and you're going to put liquid glue on it and make sure it's around the edges so that nothing catches when the magic wheel is going around. This is going to be glued on the back of your medium slotted piece. Make sure you get them really lined up well so that nothing catches. Allow time for the glue to dry before assembling the card so that you don't accidentally glue it to your card. So I'm going to show you how this piece goes into the slot if you're using the stitched circle, and I'll show you how to put it into the pocket as well. Alright, my glue is dry, so let's go ahead and slip it in the hole. Now you could slip it in from either direction, but for this I went in from the right hand side. Now you're going to take the little spinner. You're going to put a tiny bit of glue. I don't recommend you go all the way down to the inside edge. That way it'll give you a little bit more room to turn it. And this is going to be the handle. You can use foam tape if you want the area to be a little bit raised versus liquid glue. Now we're turning it over, and we're going to go ahead and spin it back just a little bit. This piece is really important. You're going to butt it right up against the edge of the circle. This piece keeps it from slipping out of the little slot. So because we're using the circle for this, we're going to go ahead and move it down a little bit more so that we still have room to put the glue on the outer edge of that circle. So you always want to use something like a Scotch tape or a clear tape that's going to be very, very smooth and not be raised or anything, or that will catch. So we're going to go ahead and put that Scotch tape right over the two to make them one piece. So again, note that there's only a little bit on the upper side extending past that little circle, and there's more on the lower side. You're going to make sure you want to test this over and over and over to make sure that nothing is sticking. So you can see here it's going back. There's a little bit sticking, so we'll fix that. And that little upper portion is keeping it from hyperextending back through the card. Now when you're using that same thing on a pocket or something, you can extend it a little bit further. But we don't want it extended quite as far because we have to glue the circle down. So I'm just going to fix it a little bit because it is sticking. So for this card, you're going to see that the tab actually has a cloud on it that was used with foam tape, and then I glued the Up in the Clouds die sunshine right on top of it. Just gives a little bit more of something to hold on to. For this one, I used just the slit that you can put on the different shapes for this card. The next card, I actually put it on one of the circles. Again, using foam tape for the rocket. And here's one more that was also put on a circle. Make sure you test it really well before gluing it down, because once it's glued, you can't go back and fix anything that might be catching behind the card front. So here's the pocket with the slit. And you're going to do the exact same thing that you did with the circle. Slip it in there, and then that small little narrow rectangle will be glued behind it to keep it from coming through. Because this has a little bit more room around the edges, you can nudge that little strip up a little further, and this pocket can actually be popped up on a card because there's room for the foam tape around that circle. You just don't want to block any of that circle or that little tab that extends beyond it. So you're going to want to be sure and check out Whimsy Stamps, and if you go to the product, you're going to find a whole bunch of different samples using this same die. It has a lot of potential, a lot of possibilities, and I know you're going to have fun with it. So make sure you, if you're using something that's a card front or a pocket, you'll use this die right here, so it can be on any shape. And if you specifically want a circle, you're going to use the largest one. That also has just the slit in it. And either of them are going to require that medium circle that has the slit, as well as the small one. And you guys are going to have a lot of fun.